So last night we went and had drinks with a couple of local therapists, Hughesy and Holly, who, whether or not they know it, they played big parts in my life. And Hughesy particularly because he's the reason why I'm in Gladstone. He's the reason why I'm here. He had the most prestigious physio clinic in town, and when I was an undergrad, he took me in for 4 weeks, and basically I got to live with Santa Claus. That's how I describe and think of the guy. He's like this big, jolly, happy, just lovable character who has a huge belly laugh, and he's also a great physio. And I was very lucky to be around while he was still treating, and eventually when I graduated I came back here before him, and to be around him before he retired. And turns out that he retired and somebody else took over the practice, and I became friends with them and went through a period of time in my life, what I call the inevitable depression, where things were being set up in place that I was going to get hurt and burnt. And I was too naive at the time to recognize what those things were. But basically I did a handshake agreement on a deal that eventually went sour and left me in a really empty place. And it's never nice being lied to or betrayed, and eventually I was actually sued. So a whole series of things that put you in an uncomfortable circumstance, and it was work related. So we were around, this is my job, it was where I had to be every day, or so I thought I did. And that's where Holly came into the picture. She was somebody that initially I found as a rival, somebody that was challenging a potential position in the clinic that I thought mattered to me. And I look back now and I think without her being present, I could be married to somebody in business that I definitely do not want to be married to. And I'm thankful. Holly challenged me, and she challenged a lot of us in that clinic, and she was a bit of a leader in the sense that instead of putting up with things that were challenging all of our moral ethics, things that were just not right, she challenged them back and eventually left and showed me that it was okay to leave as well. And that led to something incredible happening, which I would never have sought out in my future, really. But I opened a clinic and my mum came and worked with me as a psychologist. So for 4 years now we've been running Physio Call, and Mum has been right next to me the whole time. And without that series of events occurring over the last 7 or 8 years, I would never have got to a place where I have better understanding of who I am and what I want in life. And even though I don't completely know what that is, I do know what it looks like to be mistreated. And I don't want that for people around me, and I don't want that for people who are in my circle. And if I ever do it to somebody, I apologize, and I'm sorry right now. Like, if I can ever do something about it, I will. And it's not something I would ever mean to do. And I think communication is a big deal in that. Learning that humans really do need to communicate to be effective humans, to be happy and healthy humans. And last night Husey and Holly and I all caught up and we communicated. We just had drinks, we laughed, and we shared stories. And for me, we talked about stories that I had repressed and buried and put away because they were times when I was pretty sad. And now I recognize how sad I was. I'm surprised I was there for so long and I put up with things for so long. And one of the things Mum asked me to do is to journal and write whenever I felt anxious or upset. And after hanging out with Holly and Husey, we talked about some stuff that I really felt uncomfortable bringing up, and I didn't want to go to those places again, but we did. And I'm just writing them a text now, just saying I'm thankful for having them both in my life, and I'm grateful that because of them I'm not married to somebody I shouldn't be, and instead I'm in a clinic with my mum, which is, man, that's huge. Living with your mum as an adult might not be great, but working with your mum is fantastic. Not everybody gets to do it, and I'm pretty happy that that's the case. Love you, Mum.